What's going on, guys? High Mountain Trader here. I just want to do a quick recap of today's trades and just a little recap of where the small account is. Today, coming into the open, it's been really slow lately. The volume's been extremely slow. But we had this big move at the end of the day yesterday where we dropped all the way down last minute of the day. And then this is the first minute after the market closed. Cash closed, but the futures are obviously still open. And we got this big rip up, and we've just been consolidating here all day. And I drew these lines out here, and when we opened up here, what I was looking for was I didn't want to take the dip here because this is too close to the open. This is only a 5 or 6 point range. What I was looking for is a big dip down to this line here, and I would look to buy that bounce, or a big rip up to this line here for the quick short for the scalp. Without any real conviction on short or long bias, those are the two lines that I wanted to play off today. So I'm just going to press play and try to fast forward through these videos. When I originally recorded this today, I didn't unmute myself on Zoom, and so there's no audio to it. And so I'm just going to kind of explain what I was thinking at the time, and you'll be able to see the trades live. Although I do like to see the raw emotions when you're in the trade and to show that, sometimes to be able to talk through the trades after is helpful as well. So we're just going to do that today and get through it. It's probably going to be a 20-minute video, but I'm going to try to get through it as quick as I can. So let's get it started. So our first trade here today, it's going to come up real quick. And there you go, we're in it right here. So we've been kind of bouncing off this area several times. And so we tried it here and we ripped up. A lot of people here were shorting this kind of bounce, this bounce here. And we came down, tested the line, and we went back up. A lot of people have their stops up here in this area. And of course, they're going to go up and take those stops and then go down. So it looked like they wanted to make a move lower. So I shorted the breakdown of that area there. And you can see I was up, $50 in the trade. I only had one contract, $50, $75. We got the breakdown. But in the live video, what I was explaining right here was that this very, very well could be a fake out where they're going to come down and take everybody's stops that was long that's been accumulating here, show some acceleration down, maybe hit some people's stops, collect some liquidity. This candle will suck back up and go. And that's what I was preparing for myself for if that happened. Now, a lot of times I'll take that $50, $75 scalp. As you can see in TraderSync, I have a lot of trades for 50, 70 bucks in that range when I was starting the small account. But because we've tested this area so many times, I really wanted to get down to this line here. And so I was just being a little patient with it. Normally, I'm not shorting at support for the break of support. Normally, I like to see a sharp move down to support, and I'll take it for the bounce the first time it touches that line. It's a pretty, 80, 90% probability of a bounce if you come sharply down into a line. Sometimes it'll break a little bit below it and then suck in and then bounce a little bit. And you've seen I took a trade like that the other day live that I posted. And so normally, this isn't a setup that I'll take a lot, unless this is a stock that's ran straight up for 4 or 5 days straight, and this is the first red day and this is the red to green line, then I might be shorting that line. But as you can see, just like I talked about, this candle sucked back up, faked everybody out, and I stopped out for an $87 loss there. And I was pretty frustrated because, I was asking myself, dude, you only took one contract, there's no range, there's no volume. You should have took, this move here for 75 bucks or whatever it is. And instead you're down 87.50. But I did stop out where I wanted to, and so I'm happy with that. I didn't hold this to the moon and keep adding and adding as it was going against me or anything like that. I just took the small loss. And so as this candle breaks up through here and they reclaim this area, what I'm looking for is a little pullback here on this candle for some continuation upward. It's a trade I like to trade. I like to take a lot when you reclaim an important zone and it pops through. I'll I will buy that first candle pullback that a lot of times will suck up and then move forward. And so that's what I'm looking for right here. Just trading the price action. There's not much else to work with. If you look in the bottom right corner, the volume's so low that it would have been better just to walk away. So you can see I entered right there. I only took one contract because I like to give myself room if it pulls back a little bit more to get that second contract, because a lot of times I don't want to retest this area again. So I'm like, okay with taking one here, building an average in the middle, and then stopping out down here. And so that's what I was thinking going into it. You can see I just added a second contract down here. And I am down, you know, $37, $50. I think at the most, you know, I was down maybe, I don't know, $60 right there, $70 down on this trade. And I'm thinking in my head, yeah, you know, if this drops down to here, I'm gonna have a $300-400 red day, and I'm gonna be pissed because the volume's so low that I shouldn't even be trading right now, or definitely taking boredom trades in the middle of a chop zone. But at the same time, I'm still, you know, pretty confident that I'm going to get a bounce here, and I'm going to be able to at least get a move up into this area and pull a couple points off with two contracts, and so I'm not that worried about it. You know, I'm used to trading on a much larger account. This is the first time I've ever traded a small account, really, and when I look up and I see like, oh, I'm down $60, sometimes I forget and I don't even pay attention to it. I'm like, oh, it's only $60 or $70, but or $100, whatever it is, even $150 down, it's not that big of a deal because I'm used to trading on a much bigger account. And I will show trades on my main account at some point here soon in the next week or two, once I get more comfortable with trading and live and with trading live and showing my trades and recording them and going through all this extra process. I will do that. I still do trade. I have another screen up where I do trade on my main account. I just don't want to show that on here while I'm trying to at least get this small account off the ground. Once it's up over $5 grand, $6 grand, $7 grand, I don't know, a week or so, whatever it is, then I'll start showing some trades on my main account as well. And so I'm just being patient right here. It's taking a lot longer than I wanted to. You know, I'm up $112 on the trade right now. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, if I take this here, at least I'll be back even or green on the day. And if this sucks down, it could drop really fast. So if this candle sucks down and turns red and the candle closes, you know, we could get a quick pull down. So as you can see over here on the right side, I have my finger setting on that button to close the trade. I should probably have a hard stop in, especially trading futures, because if some breaking news comes out, this could rip your head off one way or the other. And it's happened to me before. But I do have my finger on the trigger and I'm ready to stop out. But if this just all of a sudden news came out and this started ripping up and I hit close here, I might get filled up here, take a much bigger loss than I want to. But I do have enough experience that I'm not going to, you know, cover up so high that it's off the screen, you know, like, and just hold it. I wouldn't do that. I'm pretty disciplined with taking my stops. I don't like to lose money too much. I don't mind losing trades. Everybody takes losing trades. But I do like to control how much I lose. I'm okay with, you'll see in this video some of the other trades, what I'm talking about. So unfortunately, this trade takes a while. Again, I'm being patient, giving it a little room, a little time. The 5-minute candle is about to close. It looks like it's going to, you know, close a nice green candle. And, you know, we do have this other pivot point here. And so I want to see if it can pop up through that. And I wanted to see it go a little faster. And so I just took it off right there because I was worried this would turn back red and then we'd stay underneath this channel here. But we went from down $87 on the day to up $100. So we made, you know, about $190 on that trade, and was feeling pretty good about that. I wasn't worried if it was going to continue on without me. I'm just scalping here. You know, it did push up a little bit higher, but it didn't go all the way back up to here. It actually ends up coming straight back down here, as you'll see. Now, I had 2 contracts. I thought about just taking one off there and seeing if one of them could run, but I just didn't have any confidence in that, the way this market's chopping around. So we're about to get into our next trade. And I'm kind of fast forward through these because it takes a while. I just want to show you the entries and the exits. You know, basically, so here we go again. As I said, this candle where I covered right here, I'm really glad I covered, even though it popped up. Look, it sucked straight back down, and my average was right here. So that instead of making a couple $100, I would have been a couple $100 loser if I was trying to hold it to the moon. I was scalping, and so I scalped it. And I just wanted to get back green on the day. I was really hoping just to close this boring day with a green day. And so I took this short here for the breakdown of this area. Like I've said before, I normally don't like to short a support, but because we've tested this area so many times, I thought if it broke, we could get some momentum down and we could come down to this level or even back to test this level down here. And if we got a big candle that just ripped all the way down here, then I would have just moved my stop down here, set a stop down here, and then let it see if it could fade. But that's not what happened. What happens is it just chops around. You can see, just like this trade here, it went my way a little bit. And I'm just going to fast forward just a little bit here. And so I basically, I don't know what happened there. Oh, I think I hit rewind instead of fast forward. Sorry about that, guys. Again, I told you I'm not a great YouTuber, just figuring this stuff out. So we're up, you know, $100. Could have covered down here for $50 again, and now it would have been up $150. But instead, you know, I really thought we could get some momentum down this time, second time coming through. I'm just fast forwarding through this because it's, you know, they're 5-minute candles and it's just kind of chopping around right here. You know, going green, going a little bit red, but not much. And so, as you can see, this trade, I just got out almost even. I lost, you know, $13.50. It was just chopping around. It, you know, went up, came back down, went up, came back down. And I thought for sure that this time it was really going to go, of course. So I took it again. Sorry about that, guys. Had to mute for a quick second. My phone was ringing. So it happened to me again, as you can see. Basically, same trade, shorting at support, which I never like to do, which I always tell people not to do. If you want this short, You short one of these pops with a starter, and then you add down here, and you have an average up here. So you can give this room. But this definitely isn't a trade that at this point that I'm looking to add to the pop, as it's going against me. I don't want to do that. And I stopped out again. So that's a couple times right here where it's just faking me out, but I don't want to get a big rip up back to here and have this start taking off, you know, or anything like that. So fast forwarding here, this is what really frustrated me. I kept waiting for it to go down. So I just, you know, went outside, went out in the backyard and got some fresh air, and came back, and this had broke. And I knew it was going to happen as soon as I walked away from it. It had broke. And I think when I came back, we were on this candle here. And, you know, as I recognized what was happening, I said, oh, here's the pullback to this line I wanted. You know, this was the trade I really wanted. Of course, I wanted that to open with momentum and volume, but I would have took this trade, but I just wasn't ready to pull the trigger. I just came back in from outside and seen this candle coming down. I said, oh, and I, you know, got ready to take the trade. And by the time I could even, you know, be ready, and it popped back up to here, and I didn't want to chase it. And so I was just pissed. But I tried to get an entry right here, but I was really frustrated, like extremely mad that I didn't get this trade. This is the best trade of the day right here for me. This trade right here isn't so bad either. You know, the retest of this area here, but you got to have a better entry that. You got to take a starter here, and you can add if it pops up through here just a little bit. And that way, if it's a fake out, takes people stops and sucks back down, you got two contracts with a good average. But I got a bad entry there. I'm just going to kind of fast forward through this. It's not a great trade. It does come my way. I have two contracts now, and it does come down here, and I think I cover this just for like 50 bucks or something. At this point, I'm just frustrated, tired of sitting here dealing with this. So yeah, so I covered that trade, and I'm up $75 now. You can see this candle came down to here. I just covered it right there. And when we broke through that line again, this pivot line, and sucked back through, I went in short again. This time just with one contract. And I don't want to fast forward it too much, but I'm trying to speed through this video. It basically pulls back down to here, to this area. I have no confidence that this is going to keep going down at this point. It's just, if you look down here in the right corner, there's 2,600 contracts traded on a 5-minute candle, which is just extremely low. There's not enough volume to really push this anywhere. And we've already bounced. We could just consolidate here and then go back up into this range. And so it's not a real conviction short, but I do think that, you know, it will come down enough to take a quick scalp on it. That's why I took the trade. And just with one contract again. So I'm gonna fast forward a little bit. So I covered that trade here. You can see I'm up $125 now. And I think just one last trade here coming up. And so as we reclaimed this line, we bounced, we consolidated, we reclaimed this line. I was pretty confident. This is a setup that I really like when you break a very key area that a lot of people are accumulating long and shorts on that pivot. When we break down through it, a lot of people are going in heavy short. You have people taking starter shorts here, or even if they're shorting heavy here, they're covering some down here and they're adding back on this bounce. And when it reclaims and this candle starts turning green, I know a lot of these shorts are, you know, are getting out. Or even if they covered half down here and they didn't add back here, they're stopping out even on the rest, you know, so they can keep some money in their pocket. And so this is a trade that I really like a lot. I wasn't expecting too much out of it because, again, look in the bottom right corner, the volume's extremely low. But I did think once we reclaim this, that you're going to get a lot of buying pressure from short stopping out right here. And that's what I was counting on. And so I'm not trying to think this is going to go to the moon, because at this point in the day, I'm just very frustrated. I'm frustrated with the way I've been trading for the day, you know, shorting the break for the break of support, which I don't like to do. And then I go outside for a few and totally miss the best trade of the day for me. You know, this was a good trade up here, but this was at like 5 o'clock in the morning before the market opened. You know, we opened over here, and I was hoping we'd push up to that to retest it for the short, but it never did, or pull back to here. It just never did either. It just chopped around, and it's still just chopping around. But I do like this setup here as we push back up, consolidate a little bit, and reclaim this area. At this point, I'm thinking, you know, this can go up. I'm up $125 on the day. And so I'm just looking for a nice quick pop for the last trade. And honestly, at this point, I just wanted to be done. I'm thinking in my head, I don't even want to post this video. This is embarrassing. Like, I'm trading like a noob, but like it's embarrassing. But you know, I said I was going to post every trade that I took on the small account. And so that's what I'm doing. Good, bad, or ugly. And not going to lie, knowing that I'm going to post the trades live, it affects my trading a little bit. You know, I got to get used to it. So this is almost done. And this is the last trade I take today. With good volume, this is a setup that I would even consider adding to. If we get a good pop and then we get the little pullback, I'd add for the continuation up to this channel. But in this volume, I have no plans to add to anything. I mean, unless I'm, you know, just within the trade. I don't mean adding it all, like I took one and then I took one. To me, that's one trade. By adding to the winner, I basically mean getting up here, consolidating, and then adding up here for the bigger move up. These are just scalp trades, one move. I do have 2 contracts, so I'm up $100 right now. I was hoping that we'd get some real volume to come in and just skyrocket this up, which happens sometime. But no luck with that. I can see that it's struggling here. I just took it off right there. So at this point, we're up $225 on the day. Probably, you know, quite a bit of commissions, because I was, you know, I took quite a few trades in this area here. And so my commissions are probably, I want to say like 35 bucks, 40 bucks, 30 bucks, something like that. I don't even know. Nothing too terrible, but yeah, that's it for the day. Again, I didn't really want to post this video. It's pretty embarrassing. It's not great trading, but it is what it is. Trying to trade in this low volume. That's one of the downfalls to trading the ES or the futures, when the overall market is just in chop zone with no volume. You don't have any other options. To where if you're trading, you know, stocks, you can always find something that has high relative volume for the day, because my trading strategies need volume. You know, shorting the quick pop into my outside line for the quick pullback with size is my, you know, how I really trade. And you can't do that without volume. Or the quick drop, the panic drop down into a clear line where I'm buying the quick bounce. And trading the last couple of days, there's just been just no volume at all. So we're just going to come over here and take a quick look at where we stand in TraderSync. And this is our chart here from when we started down here on the 11th. We're up pretty good. Let's look at the overview here. So we've made $3,715 on the account, but we're only up $3,000 after commissions. $700 in commissions. That's insane. That's just because I'm scalping. And again, you know, I'm taking $50 moves, $75 moves, $100 moves, and you know, trading, you know, 7, 8, 9 times a day with 70, 75% accuracy to get up to a couple $100. I know I'm gonna take a few losers, and I'm okay with that as long as I don't take a big loss. I've made most people that know me, they know me as a short seller, but like I've always said, on a small account, I'm making most of my money long, and I anticipated that. I have over $2,000 in profits long and only $1,000 short. My win rate 72%, went down just a hair. I'd like to see this up by 77, 78%. But my loss is only 25%, and I have a couple percent break even. So this is what I really try to keep my losses under 25% or at that level. And so I'm happy with that. 144 trades so far, 104 winners, 36 losses. That means I've had 36 losing trades, and I don't even care. It doesn't even bother me. You can see, even though I got stopped out for some small losses today, I was still able to finish green. Why? Because I just stopped out. I took the small loss, and then I went on to the next trade. I don't care about taking a losing trade. You know, if I take 4 or 5 losing trades in a row, then I'm gonna end up losing 600 on the day, something like that. That's frustrating, but it very seldomly happens. And I have no problem with taking 36 losses or jumping out of a trade if I'm just not feeling it. I don't like being red on the day, but I don't mind taking red trades, especially taking a small loss. It actually, you know, makes me feel good. So we're going to keep growing this account. We're going to show some trades on our main account, and I'm going to try to get better at this YouTube thing. I will definitely have some things set up better over the weekend coming into Monday. Hope everybody has a good weekend, and sorry this video is so painfully long, and sorry I didn't trade very well today, and I hope everybody has a good one.